You only boo if you know the club.
Yeah, exactly. Is that why Cristiano Ronaldo was booing?
Erik Ten Hag
They're saying boo Naldo.
Let's get down to it. Manchester United 1, Brighton 2. Manchester United were booed off at half-time and full-time. Both halves.
Nice to maintain these traditions, right?
Yeah, I mean, was it a game of two halves? According to those fans, no, it was pretty much all the same. Brighton, their first ever victory at Old Trafford. Big win for those Brighton fans. Of course, Jules is our resident Brighton fan.
Got in touch, Sharpish, after the game?
Let's see what Jules has been
saying. Vishy.
Why?
I can't believe you thought you'd get away with not hearing from me today. I bet you were thinking, new season for Man United, new manager. We're not going to lose to Brighton again like we did last time. We played them at the Amex, losing 4-0.
Keep your headphones on.
I'm pretty impressed you turned up to Ramble today, losing on aggregate in your last two games against teams like Brighton by 6 goals to 1. Vish, you've missed me, haven't you?
There was a stage after the game where I thought, you know what I need to do? I just need to watch some TV. And I thought, you know what? She's on so many different channels now that there is a risk.
She popped up as CSI. We just watching Sky Atlantic. Fuck off!
Reruns.
You're not even a superhero. Why are you in The Boys?
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I got a message in my family WhatsApp group this morning from my brother, as my parents, who I haven't seen in a couple of months, trying to organise a dinner. I replied, giving him my dates when I was free, and my brother replied saying, "Is Jules on the show today?"
Your brother's a Newcastle fan, right?
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
He's also a twat.
But so you know when if Ten Hag gets a little bit upset on his first game with the fans booing at half-time and at full-time, do you think he really needs to understand that kind of thing is really just part of the fabric of the club, that he needs to buy into it?
Yeah, I
his traditions are important.
Well, he doesn't know the club, does he?
No, he bloody well does now. But I tell you something about Ten Hag. To me, is that Ten Hag? He had the look of a man who didn't, like someone in disguise. Like he wasn't really in charge. His get-up was strange. I wasn't a big fan.
He comes across as quite passive, doesn't he?
Very passive. But if you look at him,
apparently he's not on the training ground. Apparently he's not. He's very aggressive.
He looked quite bemused the whole time. Even in the sort of the pre and post match interviews, I thought to myself, "It's Guy Goma like outdone himself and
Great for him to get a mention.
What a disguise, because this can't be the guy."
Well, he in his press briefings the previous week, so in the week leading up to this game with Brighton, he was pretty punchy. Bear in mind, like a lot of the conversation
That's what I mean. So
was around Cristiano Ronaldo.
So who was it on Sunday? Who done a body swap with him?
It was the same bloke, wasn't it? I think it's someone who realised. I think he's only realised in the last 2 weeks with the Ronaldo stuff how much of a basket case. Not necessarily like. The club is full stop, but not necessarily. I think it's hard to see that when he's so focused on, I suppose, the squad and the tactics and kind of the coaching bubble that he has around him. And I think that was the first time where he's been taken outside of that bubble and almost held up and be like, look at this. Because evidently he's not as involved with transfers because, Luke mentioned Arnautovic at the top of the show.
Yeah. He just can't be because of that.
Well, he has played for him under Twente, right?
Well, exactly, yeah. But
sorry, that was quite some time ago.
Yeah, it was like 12 years ago or something like that. But there was, if you look at it, like Arnautovic will be like the 6th stopgap striker that United have signed.
It's root and branch stuff. It really is. I mean, we were talking about this outside, and I thought Vish would push back on me a little bit on this point, and he didn't, and maybe he will now because he's a show-off. But I said that to me, it's the club is now feeling like it's completely infected, like Arsenal was in those dark days.
Yeah,
where the whole thing, it's actually just not about a figurehead. And I think what we saw were, and maybe it's easy to paint these pictures because they lost the game, and you can lose a game. Brighton are a good team, and they deserve credit, and all the rest of it. But he just looked a bit rabbit in the headlights. It looked a bit like the size of the job I've got on here.
That's what I mean.
Is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Ronaldo thing, as you've mentioned, that's not ideal. The Martial thing's not ideal, who's looked absolutely brilliant pre-season. He gets an injury late on and can't play, so he experiments a little bit with Eriksen in a false nine. Doesn't really work. They looked okay in patches, but you could easily say the same thing about Sancho, who everyone's been raving about in pre-season. Absolutely anonymous again. Like, literally anonymous.
Yeah.
Like, he gets dragged off. I know there's a lot of subs this season, but he gets dragged off.
Rashford's critics are there again from
He
last
has such
season.
a big chance that he can't score.
Yeah.
He had an
Yeah.
awful game yesterday, yeah.
That chance he has to score.
Yeah.
I mean, Man United's built on that kind of stuff. You have to. That kind of goal would have been such a typical Man United goal. And if that had gone in, you go, right, now they're up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same old issues. And to be honest, I didn't think they'd be sorted by this game, even though I think Ten Hag has to take some responsibility here, given that he had a full pre-season. Not only that, he literally joined the club early. You know, he missed out on Ajax's tour away to, I can't remember where it was, but he had that end of season tour where he parked that and moved over, with a view to correcting some of the technical flaws within the side, which have been there from the start, and he's had a lot of time to work on that. And the other thing I would say about it is United have always, the most damning thing about that was United were as easy to play through as they were.
Unbelievably shit without the ball.
Yeah,
it was incredible
they
for
are.
opening day.
Yeah.
But I would also say that worse teams than Brighton have done that to United, and I say that because Brighton are one of the best teams at doing that. If you've got if you're slightly out of position, I think the first goal was a great example of that. It actually. We can talk about Eriksen not tracking Casado or not even attempting to take him down, for instance. But they were so swift, and everyone made correct decisions.
But that's what the Premier League is now, Vish.
Yeah.
That you're not going to find really more than one or two teams who are because they'll be overwhelmed by going to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Other than that, every single team plays in that way pretty much, and they also smell blood because they go, "This team."
But it's the influence of the likes of Klopp and Guardiola, perhaps the latter more so.
I would also say that Eriksen as a false nine, it didn't work. I don't know what he was thinking.
No. He just didn't want to start Ronaldo. Let's be honest.
Probably, yeah. But nor
should he, the way he's behaved.
But the one thing
he hasn't played in pre-season.
Yeah, he's only played one half and then he left.
Maybe that's what he was hoping to do this time.
Yeah. I told you I want to play the first half.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say is the dichotomy between United up front and Welbeck, who I think that was the given all,
lovely to see that guy Wells, isn't it?
Given all United's issues anyway, I don't think I've seen a performance like that from Welbeck in a long, long time.
Re-sign him.
Right down from you joke.
I do.
Honestly.
More than none out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah. But we can start from the fact that he lasted into the 95th minute.
Yeah.
His movement was incredible. His touch was
such a shame that the header, it was a bit of a 50p head.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing.
Can I diverge a little bit and just say that he was brilliant? He was deservedly man of the match.
Yeah.
He ran himself into the ground. It was a Mikel Antonio-esque performance.
Absolutely.
But he's got
a better touch than Mikel.
Fine, but he's got no quality at Welbeck. He's not
in terms of scoring
he
goals.
hasn't got any proper quality, Welbeck. I've never seen someone who can make such a contribution and also never once looking like he's going to score.
Well, I think that's a touch, Josh.
He's not going to score, is he?
No, I get.
He can still be there now and not score.
I think the thing about Welbeck that kind of lends itself to that opinion is that he's not a great technical striker of the ball. When he shoots, he doesn't have that same kind of. I don't know. Let's see Haaland, for example. Haaland's second goal. Obviously, we're going to talk about him in a bit. That's a proper striker's finish. Welbeck doesn't actually do that.
He's never had that. He's never had that.
16 goals for England, lads.
Yeah, very
fair.
Good.
And the
Love
other
to see
thing,
a list of the teams I was against.
Well,
I can't remember a single one of them.
Oh, you can. You were there in the stadium in Sweden.
Against Sweden in the Euros.
And that was very much top quality.
But his performance, I think, was the standout for me. Obviously, Pascal Gross gets a couple of goals as well.
But that's a tradition, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He basically just came in and cashed his check and left again. Yeah. But bear in mind that
he didn't even celebrate.
Let's get on with the game.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that Brighton were there without Basuma, Cucurella, and still put on that performance.
Yeah, lost, but arguably their two best players.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're brilliant. And for all United's flaws, I think Brighton leave that game thinking they definitely should have scored more because that should have been a penalty on Welbeck. And also, United got off very lightly because I think McTominay should have gone for that on Casado.
Definitely.
I think it was a disgraceful challenge.
Well, I think the commentator said it rightly that because of the way Casado kind of went in, it probably just about saved.
And genuinely, I had one eye on the game because I was covering some cricket at the time. I watched the highlights and read through everything. And I remember, my last thought last night before I rested my head was, I think United got away with that.
Yeah, it could have been worse for them. Much worse.
Well,
it really could have.
Yeah, I mean, some might have said before the game that will Ten Hag have a very haunted look in his eye, and will he snap your hand off for a 2-0 loss? But Manchester United, they did only manage to lose 2-1, so that's the main thing. Ronaldo did come on, didn't do much. So
Did you see Pascal Gross's celebration after the first goal? You say he didn't celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually lip read him saying, "Oh, pipe down. I'm looking to get a couple here."
Business as usual.
Yeah, I'm looking to get at least a couple here.
Go and get the ball. Go and get the ball.
But I mean, the way Brighton set up, I mean, that is so exciting for Brighton fans with the way Potter is. I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking of this. And Brighton fans go, "Oh, shut up!" But like, do you remember when they were booed at the Amex? You know, it wasn't that long ago. I'd like to hear more from those people now.
Yeah.
Presumably they were.
Booing's all about. Is what it's all about.
Well, it helps the team.
There was a booing.
everybody.
We said
You only boo if you know the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
is that why Cristiano Ronaldo was booing?
Erik Ten Hag
They're saying Boonaldo.
Erik Ten Hag looks like latter season stage Walter White / Heisenberg, acts like first season Walter White.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem.
He was on the Sunday afternoon.